Alright, in this segment we're actually going to go over how to build your chart, how to put your chart together so you have all your indicators up there. You see me on the air each and every day, and a lot of people ask me, what kind of charting service are you using? What are these lines on there? So this is a great video to kind of review how to build your chart if you want to trade the HPS methodology. So it's going to really include all the indicators that I watch, the different time frames, and pretty much just the look and feel of what I trade each day. Now, the charting program that you see right here and what you see on my show mostly each day is Quote Tracker. Quote Tracker was a program I put out a long time ago, maybe 10 years ago, maybe even more, by Jerry Medved. It was called Medved Quote Tracker, and it got bought out, or got bought by Ameritrade, and they kind of stopped offering it to the general public. You really had to have an Ameritrade account to it, but there's ways around it. You can still use it. You can download it. But I do believe you need a registration code and stuff. And from what I know, Jerry Medved now has moved on and made another new charting package, which I'm going to check out as soon as, maybe even after this video. But for now, I'm using this one, and if you're using it, I'm going to show you how to go about setting it up. So if you're just setting it up, and maybe you do have the program but just never used it before, it usually starts off with these grid lines in here. So I'm just going to break it down right from the beginning. This is what it looks like. You'll come up. This is the ES chart. I'm not going to talk about your quotes and your feeds and stuff. When you have a quote tracker, you have to feed it. The quotes have to be fed by a service, a broker or a quote server. And I use DTN IQ feed. You could also use your broker. I used to use Interactive Brokers to feed it. You could use Ameritrade to feed it. It has a lot of different things. If you could actually look over here, you can actually see. Let me move this over here. These are your different options. Everything from MB Trading, IQ feed, which I use, all the way down direct. There's a lot of choices. E-Trade, you name it. It's pretty much out there. TD Ameritrade. There's a lot of different things. So basically, that's that's how you would set up your quote feeds. And there's a lot to go into that. There's a lot of help, online help out there to help you with that. Basically, what I want to do is just show you the look and feel of it. First thing I don't like is all these grid lines. It's just, for me, it's not my thing. So if you want to get rid of those, we're going to go to Options, Edit Preferences. And the first thing here is your basically all your colors you're seeing on your screen. And these are called grid lines, grid lines. And they're light gray. And really, for me, I just make them black so they blend into the background. And then you just click OK, and then you can see now you have a much cleaner chart right now. The background watermark, which you call the watermark, is always fine. I always leave it. It's kind of a lighter gray, but it's darker than the black, and you can see it. It's not, it's not too loud, so to speak. So now we have just a basic chart, and this is a candlestick chart. So you have different ways of actually placing your candlesticks on there. You could walk your way through this after a time. There's a lot of things that I don't even touch base on because I don't really use it. But if you right click on here, you could go down here to chart type, and right here you're going to go to candlestick. I don't know if you can actually see that. It's probably underneath it. Let me see if I can do it up here a little bit further. Chart type, and then right here candlestick. And you have all these other choices. You even have the tick chart, the volume candlesticks, everything here. A lot of different choices here. It's a great program. Great program, especially if it's free. Take pictures of your charts and stuff, your spikes. A lot of stuff here that we don't have time to go into. But that's that's what we're going to. So the first thing, I want to get my indicators up here. So the first thing I want to do is just put in some standard ones. We go to Select Indicators. And we go right here underneath exponential moving averages, EMA. I use 3 of them, so I'm going to just drag 3 of them over. And I tend to like my closest or fastest one to be green. And I use that one as a 20 EMA. So we OK that. And then the 51, I usually make it blue, a darker blue. You can make it a lighter blue to show up on the screen a little bit more. And we call that the 50 EMA. And then the last one here is my 200 EMA, and I make that one always red. And we put that 200. And then we're going to say apply, and then all of a sudden you're going to see your moving averages show up on the screen, just like that. We'll keep this up here because underneath we also want to put in our stochastics. And our stochastics, what's great about Quote Tracker, you have different type of settings on the stochastics, so ways that, different ways of setting them up. You have what we call fast stochastics, slow stochastics, and full stochastics. And I use the full stochastics. And we're going to set these up. And I'd use two sets of these, a faster one and a slower one. The fast one is default to that 1437. That's fine. Anything around that zone is not going to give you much. Sometimes I usually go with 14.43 or 4.4 just to keep it easy. Just sometimes you'll spread those lines out, the KD line, the percentage K to percentage D, and you'll see what it does to it. So we're going to just keep it at 14.44 right now. Okay for that one. And then I'm going to put another one in here, full stochastic. And we're going to call this one the 44.4. And this is a slower rotation. This is after months of back testing and working my style of trading. I realized that the combination of having the two stochastics and waiting for them both to line up gave me even a boost in the probability of the trade working out. So now I use these. This is how I program the tradeometer with the multiple time frames. I also use the dual stochastics in that process. So we're going to put that. I'm going to say OK. I'll apply it, and then you have the dual stochastics. You have the faster one, I believe, on top. Let's make sure everything is. You should give it a. You should see it here. Yeah. The 14.44 and the 44.4, and here it is right here underneath it. So you can see above that is the volume chart. So that's fine too. And really, you just now want to. You really want to. Sorry about that. I'm just moving this around here. There we go. You can see the 14.44 and the 44.3, the volume underneath it, and you can adjust these, make them think. It's very easy to adjust. It's very, I think user friendly once you get those things. So right now we have the moving averages, we have the stochastics, we have the volume. It's a lot going on there. The trend lines, it's basically a right click, hold the line, and drag those. So those are. We put those in automatically. You right click on those to increase the width or change the color. I usually have I keep them usually yellow, and you can actually fix that also. I also changed my font on the right hand side, and I did some other things before this because I had to reinstall this program today. That's what gave me the idea to do a video on it. And it all goes back to edit preferences, and all these preferences up here it's really good. You have your fonts. You have your charts, anything in miscellaneous. You could put crosshairs in here. There's a lot of stuff right here. On the wicks, you have the fonts, the font size on the side. If you need this to be a little bit bigger on the side, this actually does the font underneath. Makes it a little bit bigger actually. This font underneath here. You can't see that. Oh, there it is. You can see that font got really big here on the right hand side. So we want to just kind of, I can't use that on the show because it gets too crowded down here, so I'm going to change that back now. And I think we go to miscellaneous. What did I have it at? I think I have it at 12 or 11. Let's see here. It takes a while to set in. I think it takes, whenever it grabs the feed or something like here. It does take a second to kick in here. There it is. And I'll keep it like that, even if I want to drop it down. But the other options here, they're all there. The time frame, different things you want to use on it. Especially if you're trading in California, you can change your time frames and stuff. Your charts. It has a lot of different things. Where your feeds are coming from, your passwords and stuff. We won't even go into that. So what else we have? I like to use the pivot point. So we're going to go back here. We're going to go to indicators. Select an indicator, and we're going to just scroll right down here until I see my pivot points, and these are just going to be the standard floor pivots that are used across the I would say just a standardized default pivot, and it comes from a formula that doesn't change. So you usually get these things are standardized, and some platforms will have a different formula, but I love the ones that the quote tracker gives us. They work dead on. I won't change them, so they work great. So we apply that, and again that pivot points here will come into play. They'll end up being on this chart with the zoom out here. I should change. You see the colors are all white now. These are all white, so I have to change those colors. So I'm going to go back to indicators. I'm going to go to pivot points. I'm going to edit that. And we have our main pivot, which is our kind of neutral line here, is green. I always make that green. Our resistance one underneath us, you know, it's kind of a one underneath us, so I make that red. And the one above us here, which will be, resistance above, support underneath us. I apologize on that. We'll make that a light blue one on top. And then resistance 2, really far up there. I usually leave dark gray. And then, you know, the support 2, we'll make this any other colors here. There we go. We'll make that kind of maroon. And then that's it. We'll OK that, and then we'll apply that. And there we go. We can see that we have our pivot points here already plotted. And you can see they're plotted out here. And they go out and go out and go out and go out. See, we have the market actually in this example right now. It doesn't matter when you're watching this, but if you're watching it for tomorrow, the futures are up. And there's a lot more other things to go in about the quote tracker. Well, basically, we're just showing you how to set up the chart. So you have all your moving averages, you have your pivot points, you have your stochastics, and you have your volume. Very important. We also, let's see, I think that's going to be about it. Keep it on the 1 minute chart. It's very simple like that. Now, there's a lot of other indicators out there, and it's not for me to say what you want to use out there. This is a great program. They have, you know, of course, if you are more prone to use the simple moving average, you have the VWAP. You have a lot of great stuff here. You know, things that go really in depth. You have to really do some reading on all these. You know, of course, the MACD, RSIs, you name it. I mean, there's a lot of things. Volume weighted averages, Williams R, percentage R, Woody's pivots, ADX. Lots of great stuff here. And you can probably use a lot of it. This works great for me. I'm just want to get this out to you and make sure you understand what you see on the screen, and if you want to set your charts up like this is how to do it. Hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll see you in the markets.